Good morning, traders. Welcome to the daily webinar. We just had a little technical issues, and I was halfway through the webinar before I figured it out. So we'll have to repeat everything. First, let me address the one question I addressed when we started. That is people writing me and asking me if I'm sending them messages in, I think it was Telegram or WhatsApp or whatever it is, that they should join, pay something to join something, and they're going to get whatever free or whatever nonsense. It's not me. Let me make this clear to all my YouTube viewers. If you get any message from me asking you for anything or telling you anything, it's not from me. That's a default. I'm never sending you any message ever. And if I do send you, ignore it. That's it. Because you're never going to get a message from me. I don't have the patience or the time for that. Not that I don't like you, I don't respect you. I respect you so much that I wouldn't be wasting your time. I think your time has more value than reading the nonsense I'll be sending to you. Rather than reading my messages, watch my YouTube videos. Now, if anybody send you a message soliciting any way, money or anything from you, assume that it's a scam and refuse it. That's my advice to you. Assume that that's a scam and refuse it. If you would like to join my group, that is your decision. You would have to come to me, which means you have to send me a Skype message, and you can find my Skype on all my videos in the description, and I will give you the details. All our communication will be on Skype, and you would know you're talking to me directly. If you would need proof of you're talking to me, I will figure a way how to do that. But it's only on Skype and nowhere else. And only from using the Skype in my description, not if I send you a message telling you to use the Skype. No, don't answer, don't reply, don't give your money. You only get to be in this group when you come to me with a Skype message. That's the only way it works. It never worked any other way since I've started this, because I'm not selling you anything. I've said that many times, and you may like it or not, believe it or not. If I was selling you something, I will come to you and sell it. I'm not coming to you to sell anything. If you want to be part of this group, you would have to come and join. That's your decision to make, whether you think you're going to get benefit or not. So if anybody send you, just don't do it, right? Let's go. That's enough. Let's start. So what we're going to do now is we're going to run through some of the trades we took on Friday and what happened to them, and basically whether there's a trade in that today. I'll make it very short. I'll give you just a few setups for this week that we will be looking at right now, and look at a few more trades for you, and that's it. If you'd like to have this entire list, please send me a Skype message and then we can talk. So let's start. This was a trade we took on Friday, and we're trying to sell it here again. Now, the range here is pretty huge, so if we get a flag here, we'll sell the flag like we did here if we get a flag. So this is a sell setup. If not, you can put it under last impulse. And again, it's not a trade call for me YouTube viewers. It's for my traders. They understand all the criteria of this trade, including risk management, money management, trade management. If you think you have your own rules and everything, and you think you have the same view and you want to trade, great, that's your call, right? Me, I'm not giving you any trade call. The same for euro, right? We sold it on Friday. We'll be selling it again. We hope we get a flag in here, because I think this is about 50 something pips. We already checked it. I think that's about 50 something. Yeah, that's 24 pips. But you can in 24 pips, you can get a setup there. We have the same thing in New Zealand. This is a trade that already triggered. Sorry about that, but this was a trade we just entered. It's already triggered. Now, you have to be careful with this, because my traders are aware that we can get a pullback like that. When it tag you here, it could do this. We're not worried about that. We know how to exit trades like that. And if it stays here too long, we'll exit. If it goes further, we'll take profit. We'll figure that out, right? The same thing we have on Swiss, right? We're looking for a buy setup here. The lower it comes, the better it is. We'll be buying from the bottom going up. Euro New Zealand is another good setup. We're looking for a sell setup from here going. We're not trying to buy this at the moment. It has to make a big correction here before we buy. We're not trying to sell it here. We're trying to sell it from the top, right? This is just in case it drops really fast, really quick. The same would be for Pound New Zealand. Sell setup, right? Let it come back, make a flag, we'll sell. We'll try to sell it at this point, right? So this is more of a sell setup, sorry, but it is a sell setup. Euro New Zealand can be an active sell. Or if you want to put an entry under the low here for a sell, but that's way too far, right? That's way too far. You can get it traded here. I think this range is about, that's 150 pips. You're going to get a trade at the top there. Don't put it here. You're going to get a much better trade setup from the top like we did here, right? You're going to get trades like that. So look for a trade setup on the sell side. Aussie New Zealand, since we're in the New Zealand pairs, This was a sell. I think you could have got break even from that. We're not going to go into details of this, but if my trader took this, if you didn't close it there, you closed for a small loss there, but you definitely should have closed this trade, right? So what we're looking here now is a bigger trade. Can we go with a possible expanding flat here? No, I'll keep this here, which means this is making a deeper correction. Right, I'll keep this one here, and the entire correction will be much bigger, much deeper, because this is your first one out. It didn't break the low. So assume that you're making something bigger here. It will take a while. Take this out. You can start to look for sell setups, but I don't think this one is going to drop now. I believe this will stay here a while. There are too many pieces that needs to complete that pattern. We're going to look at natural gas for you. Natural gas, we were looking for a sell setup. We didn't get it. It actually went up. This could have been a sell. If you missed that, look for a flag here to sell. If it makes any other flag, sell it. Oil, we're looking for a buy setup. Maybe a correction only, but it's a buy. The good thing is that if we get a good flag like this, it could probably go much higher. Now, right now, it looks like it's making a sell setup here. I don't think that will drop very far, right? Because we're in this pattern. And when we got something like that, you're not selling at the bottom of a pattern like this here. There's no point in doing that, right? If it drop, it drop. The idea is that if it goes up, you understand that pattern. So we trade what we understand. If I don't understand, I can see it dropping here and I still wouldn't sell it because it might just do this and then go right back up. And then I'll just regret I didn't look for the buy because I understand that pattern. I don't understand this. I know what it is. It's probably a running flat, but there's not much to get here. So I'll be very cautious about that. US 30, we were selling it. Yep, this sell was good. You would have closed it. That's the 1 hour. You had a lot of time to close. In the 15 minutes, you can see how much time you had to close. You can even see the reversal in the 15-minute here, that reversal there, which was the perfect close here. And then you got this flat, right? So it turns out we got this flat, which is what we expected. We didn't, not necessarily that it's going to drop, right? Now you have a buy setup here. It's actually a very good buy setup. The only caution sign is that you notice they're not moving very far. At some point, this starts to drop. So I'm going to put it like this one. But I think you got the point what I'm trying to make is that at some point, this is going to drop. See that? So if I'm buying this, I have to be cautious that it's not going anywhere. If I'm buying this, it's probably just going to do this and drop. All it needs to do is break this top. See, when they break the top, what happened? They reverse. When it breaks the top, it kind of pull back. When it breaks the top, it kind of pull back. So this sell setup here would have been perfect, but I'm pretty sure that this one will break the top first. So the best thing is to let it break the top, let it reverse. Here's what you can do with this. If it breaks the top and above this structure, it makes a correction, that will be a buy. Because these structures, we know them to be reversal structures, right? And can this thing come back to the bottom here? Can this come back to the bottom here, make a sharp move like this, and then continue to go? I think that's possible. We already agreed that this might not be part of this one because this is very sharp and we don't have anything for it. So let's see if at this point it comes back. I think the best thing would be look for the sell setup. So I'll just change it to look for a sell setup, although there isn't a sell setup at the moment, right? The first move should be to the upside. S&P 500. We kind of broke the top here. It didn't come down that much. It did come down. It didn't come down that much. So if you sold it, you'll have to get out here really quick. You saw the reversal point as well. And making an assumption that these are separate ones now of their own. Each one is a separate one, but this is a separate one. That means this here was a separate one, not that one, but this one. We looked at this option also on Friday. If you remember, we looked at the possibility that this could be it, or because it was coming here, we thought it will get here, then this would be part of it. This was a separate one here of its own. And this is going to make one more up. We're very likely going to have at least one more up here. Now, how far would that go? That's the same question we have like the previous one. We're trying to break this top, by the way. I think they're trying to break that top. Let me just say. No, not necessary. We don't have to break it. We could, if you look at this as the running flat, then yes. If not, then it will make a running flat here. So breaking that top is a possibility, not a must. With the divergence in play that we have here, I think that is very unlikely. We might not break that top. This will be more of a flat like this. Because you make flats and you just break the top and turn. So they make this flat, it broke the top, deeper one. This one didn't even break the top. You make a smaller one and you probably will just break that up and come back. So although it's a buy setup, you'll have to be very cautious if you're buying this. I'll take this off. And this one. Same thing, it dropped, it didn't come all the way to the bottom, which means we will take this running flat out of the way, and very likely this is what it's doing now, right? There was a flat here already. This one kind of went a little higher, so you should have taken this one out. Remember that line, if it goes above the line, take it out. If you didn't take it out, you still have enough time to close it. This is the 1 hour. You had 1, 2, 3, 4. I think you know the rules. You shouldn't be there, right? That's simple. If it takes 4 hours to go, you shouldn't be in the trade. So right now, this is an up move. I think this one is going to go one more up here. But after that, you have 1, 2, 3, and all of that is in this. So you're not coming to break this top. It could break the top, but then there's likelihood it's coming back. So either all of this becomes a very huge correction, right? If we assume this was all this correction here, then this one should not actually make a flat in here. It should be going, right? Like really fast moving. See when this happened, what happened? They actually moved really fast, right? The out structure was fast. If this is going, I don't know why we're getting a flat there. We can go with the buy with a lot of caution. You can go with this buy, especially if you get a really good buy setup and you wanted to break out, because we never even broke that top. Can we assume that we're still in this? Possible. Right now, I'll go with the contracting flat until this breaks out. If it comes lower than that, then we'll assume that this is all one big correction. So this is not a great buy setup, but you can, keep your eyes on it to see what it's going to do. Because too much consolidation inside of the consolidation. And that means you're making a bigger flat. That's all about it. Okay, so let's go. We're going to skip all of that. I'm going to do Bitcoin and a few more just for the YouTube viewers. Again, to my YouTube viewers, if you want all of the correction, and a few of you tell me that I've skipped this one and I've skipped that one, we can't do all for you. The YouTube video becomes too long and nobody watches everything, right? People watch selectively 1 or 2 pairs, and then you have a 1.5 hour video where people watch for 3 minutes. And then the YouTube thinks that's a very bad video. But literally, the YouTube engine thinks that's a bad video, because if it's 1.5 hours, and if somebody's watching for 5 minutes only, they're not interested in it. But then they only want Euro or they only want Bitcoin. So we'll try to make it short. And if you want everything or you want more than you're getting here, including all of this, send me a message on Skype, right? So this is a sell setup, but it's a short-term trade. It's a very short-term trade because we're coming to the bottom of this, right? We're still in this correction. That has not changed. This will still be upside eventually, right? When you see it like that, we always think upside. Now, that's a really big correction, and it's coming back to retest this low. So if you want to sell, you can sell this to come back and retest this low. There's a good chance that when you make that correction like this and you start dropping, you tend to retest the lows. You go up, you drop, you retest the low. You come back, you're dropping, you probably retest this low. And then all of this becomes more of a deeper correction. And that will still be for upside. The only thing that will change this from upside to downside is if it drops here and start to do this. Well, then we're going to consider this as a slow move down, correction, and then drop. But right now, I think there is at least one more up. Go back to the weekly and you can see that. And I mean, it's easy to, you don't have to be a genius to understand. Look at this. You see what that looks like? You see what happens with it? It goes up. See what this looks like? See what happens with it? It comes this way, it goes this way. You see what this looks like? It's coming here. See what it looks like? It's likely going to do that. So when it comes to the bottom here, you can look for your buy setup to the top. And I mean a buy setup. You have to get the setup. Now, when it breaks this top, well, that's where you have to be really, really, really cautious. Because that's the point where they break the top and they just drop it back. And that would be okay. I'll go with this as a running flat before it goes back up. Now, why would this happen? I can spend 2 minutes to tell you why that is a possibility. Just imagine for a second that there would somebody who bought a lot of Bitcoin at this point here and at this point here. Quite a lot. Wants to sell it. Right? He's already in the profit. So he's selling in this range here. So if he managed to sell all of this in this range, he probably will continue to sell here. If most of them are selling, he's going to just drop it. We will see that as a signature that is dropping. But what if he can't sell all? What if people are not buying because the price is a little too high? Right? You're thinking, this price looks a little too high. I don't want to buy. But then the price comes here. And you're like, you know what? This is a good opportunity for me. I missed this buying here. I missed this buying here. I want to buy here because now they said it's going to 120,000. Maybe 200,000. So you want to get into the buy. Well, by the time it gets to this stop, he probably sold all that he has. Well, when I said he, I mean someone with a huge amount of it. Whether it's a person or a company or whatever, it's irrelevant. The volume that they are holding would probably have ended here or here or here or anywhere along this point, because you, the unknown or the person who is ignorant of how this thing works, is buying, because now it's going to 200,000, it's going to 300,000. And then you watch this do this. Well, the only way this person makes a lot of money is buying it here and selling it here, selling it here, selling it there, right? Now, if he needs to make more money, he needs it to come back here and buy back at the bottom here and then drive it back to the top. And that's the process. You buy here, you sell there. You buy here, you sell there. You buy here, you sell there. You buy here, you push it back there. Right? You keep buying at the bottom but selling at the top. It's easier said than done, because the problem with retail traders, small traders, and people who are caught into the internet thing about what's happening in crypto, they're looking at it as something that is going to replace fiat currency. They're not looking at this as a trading instrument. Now, the way we look at it is a trading instrument that might eventually collapse. I don't like to be so controversial, but I think this thing will most of them will collapse, put it that way. Of the thousands that are out there, most will collapse. So if you're trading it as a trading instrument, like any other trading instrument, you treat it the way we treat it: a buy setup or a sell setup, and that's it. Like any other thing, it's not replacing anything for us. Right? The only value we have in this is that you can make money in it. So if you want to sell, that's a sell setup. That said, let me go through a few more and let's see. Ethereum, sideways. This one dropped nice. It went back up. It's still dropping. We're still in this. And that means we're not going anywhere, because this is not a correction by itself, because all of this is inside of that. It's probably going to come back and retest this stop at some point and then drop. You can already see that. Right? If this keeps dropping, well, then good. Let it go slowly down. What's the big picture? You may say, well, where is it going if it's doing that? Well, if this makes a flat here and start to drop, if this goes back there and start to drop, the higher probabilities we're retesting this low, because this will be all the correction. Right? This drop really sharp. This should be going back up if we were making any kind of a correction here. But now that you're making correction here, once this go back up, and it's likely going to go back up, you're going to find that this is going to start to drop really fast. Retest that low. Now, why do we need to retest the low? No specific reason. We might not only retest that low, we might retest this low. See this here? 1, 2, 3. I thought we would break that top and then come, because this one was really high in the top, but it seems we're not going to break that top. Seems that was the top, right? This here was the top. This was just a huge flat inside. So when it started to make that huge flat, my thought process, well, we'll probably break that up and come. But it seems like right now, that's all. We're coming back to retest this low, not necessarily this low, right? We're not necessarily this low. We don't need to go back to that low. We just need to come back to this low here. So take one. You can leave both of them. One is from the top, one is from there. Come back here and then go back up. This would be your huge flat in the middle. So I wouldn't be surprised if this come much lower. One more move up and then keep track of that, because it seems like it's heading downwards. And XRP, we're expecting it to break this low and then go back up. Let me see what that possibility looks like. We're still in this correction, right? We're still in this whole thing. And because we broke the low here, we can make an argument for 1, 2, 3. Now, when you break the low sometime, all of this is still correction, but it's a running flat. So the running flat will give you a sharp move and reverse. We don't have a sharp move and reverse, right? We're not reversing as yet. As a matter of fact, this one should have break the top and then come down. Can we make an argument for another flat like this? You can do that. Not the best setup, but you can do that, which means this is a correction, this was a correction, and we're still in this. And we still haven't got that yet. So if that happens and this comes here, it's still going to go back there and come back down. Now, if I'm wrong about that, then the chances are this one is going to come here first. Right? We'll go, this is a 1, 2, 3. And this goes tag the top before it comes back. Now, which is it going to be? Well, at this point, you're going to watch it to see whether we're going up or down. You go in the 1 hour. Any consolidation under this point, any consolidation under this low, we sell. Any reversal, we buy. Because it's at the top, the reversal is more likely to happen, right? And the last one. Well, this looks like a sell setup. It went back to the top, so it's coming down. It's going to retest this low, and then we'll see what happens from that point, right? You can look for a sell setup to come back here. That's it. Okay, so I will leave you with that to make it short, but we do all of this and we do more. So if you're interested in that, send me a Skype message. You will get to join us in these sessions and trade with us. London, 8 a.m., New York, 8 a.m. If you're a full-time member, you get access to the group with everything, including the training and how we do this and everything you want to know about trading. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good week ahead of you and trade with care. Make some money.